Hey kids, welcome back to another episode of Old Man Plays CFL Weekly Fantasy. Haha, yes. Casual Fridays, you can see it's hotter than Hades out there right now. My gosh, I hope the heat doesn't mess up the games this weekend. That 55-degree game in Saskatchewan on Sunday must have been torture for the players. And now there's smoke coming into the picture too. Hopefully the Hamilton game goes. Fingers crossed. But with that said, keeping my to what I talked about last week, I'm going to make this shorter. I'm not going to make you sit through the torture watching me pick my team or anything. And I did come up with a win last week. It was a little bit of almost a forfeit. I'm not sure what happened with Shot from the Hips podcast, but they didn't even have a full team in there. And I had 119.6 points. A week before that, I had 132.1, highest score in the league. Last week, 119.6, 13th out of a 16-team league. But luckily, Shot from the Hip was down in the 50s. So I'm 3-3. Moving forward, I think 6th in scoring, and I'm 8th in the standings, so I'm in the playoff spot, but I can't afford to stumble, and it's going to be a tough one this week. I'm up against KD Kamish, who I think is out of the Turf District, if I remember right. And, yeah, top of the league, top of the standings, number 2 in overall scoring. I'm going to have to bring my slingshot, as it were. This is a David and Goliath type one. So, looking through it, looking at the quarterbacks, well, there's not a lot to choose from. I mean, Nathan should be a lockdown, but he still just hasn't been putting up the big points, and they're running the ball in a certain amount, things like that. So I'm not sure there. Cody, he got over 300 yards last week, but I can't seem to go that way. Ottawa and Winnipeg, we got either Mayor or MBT on one side and Zach or Drew Brown on the other, and neither of those actually gives me any excitement. The Ottawa defense isn't bad. I don't know that any of the Winnipeg quarterbacks will do well against them, and Ottawa's quarterbacks, So then we've got Hamilton and Toronto, and Hamilton's starting Trey. Yay! Will they actually utilize him properly? Will they run an RPO type offense? You could go with him and save a whole bunch of money than try and load up on others, but I don't have the faith for it. And Kelly I've used a lot lately, but that Hamilton defense is actually pretty good. Hamilton offense on the field a bit more than Dolegala did. Then Toronto may not get so many opportunities, so I'm avoiding that. So that brings us down to basically the other game, VA and Davis Alexander. Both good choices. It's in Calgary, and VA's played well in Calgary this year. But I think I'm going with Davis Alexander overall. It's just he's playing amazingly well. As long as that hamstring holds up, I think he's good. Now I'm going to pair him up on my wide receivers with Tyson Philpott and hopefully get a good chunk out of that. Defenses, well, I wouldn't have minded taking maybe Winnipeg, even the way that they're playing with stuff, or possibly Montreal. I don't know, but in the end, I had to look at what was cheap, and strangely enough, the Elk defense is the cheapest, even though they've been playing fairly well. So that's what I went with. I hope they pick off Nathan once or twice. They got a couple on him last time that they played. The other wide receiver that I'm going with is going to be Austin Mack out of Edmonton, because I needed to get someone in that wasn't terribly expensive. He was not quite 12, but he's been picking up more. I think he'll get a few more catches, maybe a touchdown or two. I like that. And then my running backs. Well, I think you got to take Rankin now. Everybody's taking him, at least in my league. I don't know that he'll do so well against BC, so I'm taking him as almost a defensive pick, so that if he does well, I get something out of it. I'm hoping a lot of people will take him as their captain. A lot did last week, and I don't see him doing as well against BC again. He'll get in some yardage, and he's worth picking. He'll probably get 20 points. But I'm thinking making a quarterback captain is a smarter move this week. And then the last one, my flex, well, I was down to under 4K that I had to spend, and went looking around, and Javon Leake. Edmonton used him in the game last week some. I can't remember. I don't think he got a touchdown, but he got some really good runs. And if they're going to start spelling off Rankin like that and getting him into the game, maybe he'll get me the points that I need. So that's pretty much it. That's how I'm going this week. There's, of course, as always, lots of others to choose, but my defense will be the Edmonton Elk. The quarterback will be Davis Alexander out of Montreal, and he'll be my captain. Justin Rankin will be the first of my running backs from Edmonton. Xander Horvath. Oh, I don't know if I said that in my recap. Xander Horvath, because hopefully he gets a few carries and he scoops up those short yardage touchdowns, being the short yardage guy. Wide receivers, Philbot, how can you not? He's been playing so well. Team him up with Alexander and maybe get some doubles on some touchdown catches and whatnot. And then Austin Mack out of Edmonton, because he's been coming along. And the last one is my flex is Javon Leake out of Edmonton. Don't know that I feel good. Like I said, I'm at 3-3. So take that for what it's worth. If you're going to use any of my picks, do so at your peril. It is a tough week for me. If I can somehow pull this one off, I think I move myself up a few standings and get a little bit more comfortable in the playoff spots. But going against someone who's 5-1 at this point, it's going to take everything I've got. So anyway, that's about it. Hope you've enjoyed. Hopefully you got some value out of this. If you did, maybe subscribe. Check out the flagship show, the CFL Outsiders, that drops on every Wednesday, where we talk about league news and going-ons and whatnot, and have a lot of fun with not the world's most serious attitude towards football. We get agitated on occasion, but mostly it's just fun and games. And remember, if you subscribe here, you'll get that automatically. If this is doing you any good, or even if it's not, drop a like. That's always helpful. Leave me a comment. Is this doing you any good? And on the pod machines, the podcatchers, Apple and all that, a 5-star rating is always nice, and leave a review. Most of you have already turned out, probably, but I got to do the beg at the end. Got to keep trying to grow the CFL Outsiders world empire. Till next week, Oldman signing off.